Hello and welcome to this short video by the Songbird Stamper, where I'm going to show you how to make this desk tidy. I've written a blog post, but as they say, a picture paints 1,000 words, and sometimes it's just much easier to see how things are made when you can see how it's done. So this is to accompany my blog post, and if you'd like to know more, please do head on over to www.thesongbirdStamper.co.uk. So I've taken a piece of Blushing Bride cardstock, and this is measuring 3 3/4 inches by 10.5 inches. And I'm going to bring in my stamping trimmer from Stampin' Up, and I'm going to score it on the long side, so that's with the long edge at the top, at 2 inches. Make sure you move your trimmer blade out of the way so that you've just got your scoring blade. And I'm going to score it at 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, 8 inches, and 10 inches. And I'm going to spin it round 90 degrees and score it on the short side at 2 inches. So I can move this out of the way, and what I'm going to do is, you can see I've got, these look very much the same, but one of these sides is longer than the other, so we need to find out which side measures 2 inches. And you can see that's this side here, and that's the side that we're going to cut up. So on all of these score lines, I'm going to cut up to that middle score line. Slightly easier to see on some of the bigger pieces, but this is the smallest box. And then on the end here, we're going to cut away this tab. And once that is done, we can fold and burnish all of our score lines. Now you could, if you want, decorate this first with the designer series paper. I tend to do it afterwards, but I know a lot of people decorate before they assemble. So if you wanted to, once you've done all this folding and burnishing, then using the measurements on my blog, you could then pop in the designer series paper along the top here. But I'm going to show you how to assemble it. So we're going to turn this round, and this little bit that we cut here becomes the tab, and I'm going to use some Tombow multi-purpose glue. It's a very strong liquid glue sold by Stampin' Up, or you could use some red tape as well, but I find you get a little bit of wiggle room, but it's also very quick drying. So I'm just going to bring those together, and that should be done. So this is a hexagonal box. And what we need to do is, these bits that we've cut are all going to fold down. We need to keep this as much as we can to a hexagonal. Now this is the hard part. And we just pop in a little bit of glue. So the way I do it is just pop a little bit of glue and then fold this one down. And if you can work as quickly as possible before the glue dries, and this last piece you can pretty much glue all over, then you've still got the wiggle room that you need and the wiggle time to make sure that's as hexagonal as possible. And then flip it over and push it all down. And then we've got our nice box. And we're going to make one more just to make sure that you've got that okay. And we're taking a piece of Coastal Cabana cardstock, and that's 5 inches by 10.5 inches. Bring in the trimmer again. And score it on the long side, that's the long side across the top. Make sure you're using your scoring blade at 2 inches, 4 inches, 6, 8, and 10. Okay, so I've actually cut this piece of cardstock slightly wrong, so I'm going to need to grab myself another one. because that should have been 5 inches by 10.5 inches. So we need 5 inches by 10.5. The 1/2 inch on the side is going to allow for our tab. So let's try that again. Score it on the long side at 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10, and then spin it round and score it at 2 inches. So this time it's a little bit easier to see which section is which. And now this time it's quite clear to see these sections down here. The smaller ones are the ones that we need to cut up. So cut up these ones. And then you can cut away this final tab, just notching it in there. Fold and burnish all of these score lines. Not forgetting the tab at the end. And again, you could now decorate this if you wanted to by sticking the pieces of DSP on, but I'm just going to show you how to assemble it once again. So fold it all the way around, put some glue on the outer edge of the tab here. Put a little bit on the top, make sure we go all the way up to the edges because you want it to hold nicely. And then wrap that around, glue that in place. And then once again we need to keep this as hexagonal as possible. We'll just pop some glue down and then this last piece can be glued all over. Get it to the shape that you want it, flip it over and give that a good press down. And then you can see those two would fit together just like this, and then you have the bigger one in the middle. So I'm not going to go through the whole lot. I say all the information that you need is on the blog. I'll just pop you out a little bit and then you might be able to see that one there. So all the measurements, all the details, more information and some more pictures over on the blog. I'd love for you to pop on over and check it out, and that's www.thesongbirdStamper.co.uk. Thanks very much for joining me. Take care until next time. Bye bye.